History is full of heroes, wars, and revolutions, but sometimes the past just gets plain weird. Like a time when people danced until they died, or when a dead pope was literally put on trial. These aren't stories from fiction. They actually happened. Here are 7 historical events too weird to be true, but they are. 1. The Dancing Plague of 1518. In the summer of 1518, in the city of Strasbourg, a woman stepped into the street and began dancing. She danced for hours, then days. Soon dozens joined her, dancing uncontrollably for over a month. Historical records say people collapsed, broke bones, and danced themselves to death. No music, no celebration, just pure compulsive motion. Doctors at the time blamed it on hot blood. Modern historians suggest mass hysteria or a possible fungus that caused hallucinations, but no one really knows why it happened or how it stopped. One thing's for sure, it's the only known plague in history spread by dance. 2. The Cadaver Synod, 897 AD. In one of the strangest court cases in history, Pope Stephen VI had his predecessor, Pope Formosus, dug up from his grave, dressed in full papal robes, and placed on a throne to face trial. Yes, a literal corpse trial. The dead pope was found guilty of being unworthy of the papacy and had his blessing fingers chopped off. This wasn't a horror movie. It was real Vatican politics in the 9th century. After the trial, Formosus' body was thrown in the Tiber River. The event caused such outrage that Stephen VI was later imprisoned and strangled to death. Religion and revenge made for one weirdly undead courtroom drama. 3. Operation Paul Bunyan, 1976. In 1976, a tree almost started World War III. 2 U.S. soldiers were killed by North Korean forces for trying to trim a tree in the Korean DMZ. The U.S. responded with Operation Paul Bunyan. They returned with 16 men carrying chainsaws, backed by tanks, warplanes, helicopters, and over 12,000 troops in the area. Even a warship was positioned offshore, and all of this just to chop down a tree. The operation was successful. No shots were fired. But it remains the most overpowered landscaping job in military history. The Great Emu War, 1932. Australia once declared war on emus. In 1932, farmers were struggling with thousands of giant birds trampling crops. The government sent soldiers armed with machine guns. But the emus were faster, smarter, and spread out. Despite firing thousands of bullets, the emus outran the army. The soldiers couldn't hit them. Guns jammed. After weeks of failed tactics, the military withdrew. Final score, emus 1, humans 0. It remains one of the few wars in history where humans officially lost to birds. 5. Project Habakkuk, World War II. In the middle of World War II, Allied forces had a wild idea: build a massive aircraft carrier out of ice. Yes, ice. The project was called Habakkuk. The plan: use a special mixture of ice and wood pulp, called pykrete, that was surprisingly bulletproof and slow to melt. They actually built a prototype on a Canadian lake, but the full ship would have been over 2,000 feet long, with its own refrigeration system. It was eventually scrapped due to cost, and the fact that melting boats aren't exactly reliable in war. Still, the idea came this close to becoming a frozen fortress. 6. The London Beer Flood, 1814. In 1814, a giant beer vat in London burst open, releasing over 300,000 gallons of beer into the city. The waves smashed through homes and pubs, flooding streets, and even trapping people underground. At least 8 people drowned in beer. Some survivors reportedly scooped it up in pots and drank it. Newspapers at the time called it a river of ale. It sounds like a party, but it was a disaster, a tragedy soaked in foam and barley. To this day, it's one of the most bizarre industrial accidents in British history. Slebe 7. Napoleon attacked by rabbits, 1807. After signing a peace treaty in 1807, Napoleon planned a rabbit hunt celebration with his generals. His staff released hundreds of tame rabbits into a field, but instead of running away, the bunnies ran straight at them. Dozens turned into hundreds. They swarmed Napoleon and his men, nibbling, scratching, climbing their uniforms. Some reports say they were so aggressive, Napoleon fled to his carriage, chased by fluffy assassins. Turns out, the organizers bought tame farm rabbits who thought it was feeding time. It went down as one of Napoleon's most adorably humiliating defeats. From dancing to death, to being chased by rabbits, these stories prove one thing: history is way stranger than fiction. Which of these blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more bizarre true stories from the past.